Hello everyone and welcome back to round 12 of season 3 of the F124 Ferrari driver career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here at the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Of course, yes, we return this weekend ready for our home race. And to be honest, after what happened at Austria, we could desperately do with quite a good result this weekend as well. Of course, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone for the continued support on the channel. We are super close to 131,000 subscribers. So if you're watching this and you haven't already, please do make sure you click that sub button as well for daily Formula 1 content. Throughout Formula 1 summer break, I'm hoping this series can kind of give you a fix if you need. And let's not forget as well, tomorrow is the return of the F1 Ultimate Career Mode as well. The 2000 season kicks off in Albert Park, Australia. Boy, oh boy, I am looking forward to that one then. But yes, we return to Silverstone though. Still the gap to Charles Leclerc at 72 points. We had a bit of we had an absolute stinker at in Austria last weekend. Max Verstappen though absolutely dominated, so he's cut down that gap to just 39 points between him and Charles Leclerc as well there. So we've got our work cut out. Obviously, we've got 3 Brits inside the top 5 in the championship. I'm sure all 3 of us will be looking to try and get the win this weekend here at Silverstone. We've got to just do a couple of quick component changes as well. Make sure, obviously, we've got all available power out of the car this weekend. But yeah, like I said, get yourself subscribed if you're new, and let's head out onto the track.
It might not be race day yet, but you wouldn't know it from looking at the stands. The fans are out in force. It's practice time here at Silverstone.
Well, I was having a look through some of the data as well for this series earlier on, and I kind of forgot, of course, that we've got Portugal towards the end of the year. Obviously, no sprint weekend from Texas. Honestly, I'm looking forward to not having to do that, just because it's so long inside this game. Cota's not a track I associate, well, with being particularly low speed. But it seems to, actually be quite a slow race inside F124. And obviously, Portimao, it's a good fun track. I love racing there as well. A circuit that certainly is not low speed, of course, is the Silverstone one we're racing around this weekend. Should be a good track for Ferrari. Like I said, we need to try and return to winning ways. But Charles Leclerc has not won a race since, I believe, all the way back at Miami. So yeah, really has not been the run he would have wanted recently. He's got to try and return to the top step of the podium. We make our way though through the final corner, just trying to finish off on my fuel run. We only just get the purple score, while getting all of our practice programs wrapped up then, as yeah, really do feel confident around this circuit. It should hopefully be a strong one for this car as well, which is always nice. You know, especially when free practice runs pretty smoothly at the final corner. There we go, purple score in the qualifying run. So let's head into qualifying proper.
A one-time airfield fully owned by cars in this era. One of the finest ribbons of racetrack anywhere on Earth. It's high speed, it's dramatic, it's Silverstone.
Well, last weekend we really struggled to match the pace of the likes of McLaren and Red Bull. This time round though, we return to Silverstone. This Ferrari is absolutely playing into its strengths. Charles Leclerc fastest in Q1. Well, we were only a tenth away, and I think we could see times down towards the 1:25 as well here. There is so much grip in these cars, but it's the straight line speed that's the really impressive with this new ground effect era. Are so fast in a straight line. It is absolutely incredible to drive there, but it does actually make the braking points quite difficult to spot as well. Sometimes I find myself just braking a little bit early into a corner because I'm acutely aware of just how much top-end speed we've got. As we make our way though through Sector 1, all clean and tidy so far. Sector 2, personally as well, we seem to come alive. And as we make our way then down in towards the final couple of corners, I mean, yeah, we're just obviously trying to make sure that we're safely through Q2. Oh, a little bit of oversteer there through the final corner as the tyres just start to give up a little bit. 26.199 puts us fastest for now. But I believe Charles Leclerc is out there behind, and he might be able to close in that benchmark. As there we go, immediately our teammate goes P2. Well, that should give you a rough idea then of what the pace is looking like in this car. Leclerc and I, less than a tenth between us, but half a second over Lando, Norris and Max Verstappen right now. There might well be a pretty good fight for P3 as well behind Hamilton and Oscar Piastri, as well as Alonso there, not a million miles away. But it is looking like it's going to be myself versus Charles Leclerc here in qualifying. Not very often this year have we had a proper duel for pole. I think Leclerc's out there then for his first run here in Q2, so he's going to be interested to see what benchmark our teammate sets. Will either of us be able to get down into the 1 minute 25s? How big is the gap going to be between us, of course? Like we said, we want to deliver at our home Grand Prix. We were going to beat Charles at his. I'd rather we didn't talk about that last lap back at Monaco. But yeah, I would really like to try and get back to winning ways here. We've already had 3 wins so far this year, 2 in a row. But yeah, the best way, obviously, like I said, to put Austria behind us is just to try and absolutely come back this weekend. Absolutely kicking as purple through sector 1. Just a little bit wide though as we went into Luffield. That will compromise the exit of the corner slightly. Get the power down though as we head down the old start-finish straight. Every corner here at Silverstone is iconic for one reason or another. And I think we all know, recent Formula 1 fans know why the old Turn 1 is such a corner that takes your breath away. In towards Maggotts and Beckett's we go though. Flat through the first, flat through the second. Down 1 gear through the third, but you've still got your foot to the floor. Down another gear through the final part there as you open up the DRS on the exit. And 3/4 of a second up on Oscar Piastri right now. Purple sector 1, purple sector 2. Are we going to be able to make it purple in all 3 sectors? We are right on the delta time for a 1 minute 25 here. A straight line braking through the final chicane. Just get it neatly tucked over the curbs. Oh, a little bit of oversteer on the exit there. At the final corner up towards the line. 25-7. We have put down the gauntlet. Charles, you got to try and keep up. Well, Leclerc seemingly unable to improve from his Q2 time right now, so it looks like we're going to claim pole position here at Silverstone. Now it's just a case of can we go any better? This is effectively a glory run at the end of qualifying. I mean, could we see like a 25-5 or something like that and really put distance between myself and our rivals? Nigel Mansell always said your home Grand Prix gave you a couple of extra tenths. And really, yeah, we haven't seen qualifying domination like this since Imola earlier on in the campaign, which of course was the team's home race as well there. Tiny bit down in sector 1. That's not too much of a concern because I've saved a little bit of extra battery to use around the rest of the lap, and maybe if we can keep it tidier through Luffield, I'm going to gain that advantage back anyway there. Right the throttle on the exit. Try to use up a little bit of that battery as well there to our disposal, as we were pretty much even at the moment. Hopefully Oscar Piastri is going to try and move out the way. Come on, Oscar. Oh, somehow we go around the outside of him then. Not sure how we managed that, but we're going to navigate one of them. As into Maggotts and Beckett's we go once again. Going to leave it in 8th gear that time round through the second part. And really try to power down on the exit right up to the limit on the exit curb as well, as we'll try and use some of the battery down in towards the final couple of corners. Another 2 tenths up right now. There's Alex Albon just in front of me. He's going to be diving back into the pit lane though, so shouldn't be too much of a concern. Braking just at the start of the curb. Tip it in for an apex. Try and clip the second one as well. No drama that time round off the final corner. We're going to be another 1/4 of a second up. A 25-4. We have smashed it.
A fantastic drive. Bring it home.
Well, let's not forget, we are on 110 AI inside this series. I can't make the AI go any quicker inside this game, but this weekend we have put 7 tenths of a second on our teammate, 9.5 tenths over Max Verstappen in that Red Bull car as well there. I've only just realised that Perez never even saw Q3. Surely today, with that kind of margin, we are absolutely in the fight for the win.
Britain is one of only 2 countries to have held a Grand Prix in every year of the Formula 1 World Championship. Long may it continue. It is a circuit of speed, history and drama. It's Silverstone. It's the British Grand Prix. Straddling the border of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, the 18 corners of Silverstone circuit form the 3.6-mile beating heart of Formula 1. It's been reinvented over the years, with Turn 1 now the fast right-hander of Abbey, but the magic of racing is as strong here as it's ever been. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Firestarter lines up on pole position. Charles Leclerc alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Verstappen, Russell, Oscar Piastri, Hamilton, Albon, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Perez, Stroll, Hulkenberg, Joe, Behrman, Tsunoda, Ocon, Ricciardo, Vesti, and Carlos Sainz will start from the back of the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes, delighted to say that we're joined today by Anthony Davidson. Well, they're having a better time than their teammates so far this year. How do you keep that momentum going?
Yeah, they have, and it's, rule number one, beat your teammate. They're the one that share the same equipment as you, and yes, the cars can vary in setup from race to race and depending on who has which style, but essentially they're your barometer, the yardstick. If you can beat them, that's the first job you have to do. And it looks like it's going their way, doesn't it? And they need to carry on this momentum, this energy through the rest of the season.
Right, mate, I know it's your home Grand Prix, but I want you to treat it like any other race. Let's not make any unnecessary risks, please.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, Mark. We desperately want to try and get back in that title fight. We've got to take all the risk every weekend, home race or not. And today, we absolutely want to try and deliver here at Silverstone. 26 very fast laps ahead of us. And it looks like it's going to be the soft to the medium is going to be the strategy of choice. The team aren't interested at all in starting on the medium compounded tyre, which is very, very interesting. So lots of faith that these soft compound tyres are going to work throughout the early stint. Obviously, if we can break away from the rest of the field, that could be really, really useful as well. We know how powerful the DRS is around this circuit. Everybody, it looks like, is on the soft compound tyre. It is 5 red lights. And it is going to be lights out, and away we go. They're trying to manage the wheel spin off the launch as Verstappen has got off to a really good one there. So has Charles Leclerc down the inside at turn 1. Obviously, we don't want to risk contact with our teammate off the start of the Grand Prix. And immediately, so Leclerc will make it through there as Verstappen and Russell got the jump on Lando Norris. I saw a stat a couple of days ago that Norris has not gained a place on lap 1 so far in 2024. That absolutely blew my mind. He's lost, I think, the most places of anybody so far this year, which is just absolutely incredible. So that's something he needs to work on in the second half of the campaign. But less said about that at the moment. You can see Russell and Verstappen still side by side behind us here, out as we make our way onto the old start-finish straight. And Verstappen there will just try and make the power move. A Red Bull and the Mercedes side by side into cups. I don't think, have we ever seen that before? Has anything bad ever happened? I don't quite know. There is already then Leclerc and I out of the DRS range of those cars behind. So, I mean, this weekend, looking at the qualifying margins, it should be a dogfight between myself and Charlie Boy. How are things going to pan out early on? We built up a little bit of a buffer. That is absolutely perfect. But how do the team want to play the battle between us? Already then with the DRS on lap 2, we're just going to try and push the waters, work out how much we've got fight in him.
Wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as soon as possible.
Okay, yep, it's pretty clear that Charles wants to fight this one. Just let's not forget, obviously we did help him out. We did play rear gunner in Austria. This is my home race. I would like to try and get a good result. I mean, Russell has done a sensational job working as a rear gunner effectively for us early on. Verstappen already out of the picture here. 1.4 seconds behind, but of course he loses so much down the DRS straights. And obviously, against two of us that, if we need to, we could work together to try and build up a little bit more of a margin. Safety cars are quite common as well, though, here at Silverstone. Although the AI don't tend to crash into each other, there can often be, mechanical issues, or especially when cars try to get into the pit lane, there can be a bit of trouble. I also can't get over the fact it's completely pinned, full fuel, everything like that, completely flat out through the old Turn 1 as well. There really is not really a corner anymore in the world of Formula 1. As we try and make our way then out onto the hangar straight, where we've seen so many wheel-to-wheel battles between teammates before. Hamilton against Kovalainen, Mansell against PK, but round the outside, me versus Charles Leclerc there. We've only gone and done it. We just keep the wheels inside the white lines. So Leclerc again there trying to look, and I'm sure the crowd will be cheering us on. Well, there was genuine concern last weekend that maybe McLaren and Red Bull had caught us up in terms of raw performance. I must admit, so far qualifying pace and early race pace here has kind of just gone and quelled some of those nerves. But around tracks that suit their cars, they are absolutely still in the fight. I think this, like I said, is just going to be a really, really good track for Ferrari here. So we've got to make sure that obviously we don't waste the opportunity either. So here comes Charles Leclerc, back down the inside goes our teammate. We've got to make sure we give each other racing room early on. We've still got more than 20 laps to go.
Right, here we go. Let's look to get past quickly and put them on the back foot.
Why, immediately as he goes past me, Mark's like, no, get past him right now. For whatever reason, the Wellington straight seems to be the one that Charles and I can carry the most momentum on each other. You can just see there, Charles, the AI, they really like to take a bit of a weird line. They don't like to kind of swoop in fully down the end of that straight there. They kind of like to just almost run themselves a bit deep in and then try to clip the apex a bit later on, rather than making it one fluid motion. So I'm always a bit worried that they're going to lock up and maybe understeer out wide. So it just kind of affect my line as well. Just a little bit more watching them. As I mean, look at that. We are absolutely all over him. I think we are running slightly more downforce here, which is just giving us a little bit more performance through the corners. It might come at the cost of straight line speed, but clearly, yeah, in qualifying when the engines were absolutely maxed out, it made no difference. Oh, pushing me out towards the grass goes Charles Leclerc.
Yeah, nice work.
Not enough grip out there, but our teammate again has to give us the room. He's still going to be on the outside, though, down in towards the final couple of corners. Wheel to wheel we go. And we'll just back out of that one. Don't really want to try and switch him or hang it around the outside there. You can often get a little bit barged out. What this is doing, though, is allowing Norris just to get a little bit closer again. That gap would still monitoring that gap, but it is down to just under 2.5 seconds. Maybe this time around there we're going to be able to get the run on Charles once more to the inside. Again, he wants to try and squeeze me. I think just, yeah, our teammate's got really good straight line speed down there, but we'll be down the inside again and back into the lead once more. Well, I suppose I'd better bring it up as well, because it seems to have given us good luck so far this year. Silverstone has historically been quite a decent track for Ferrari. I know in recent years it has been dominated by Lewis Hamilton, but Carlos Sainz obviously won here back in 2020. Sebastian Vettel actually was the one that interrupted Hamilton's incredible streak as well years before, back in 2018. And let's not forget Fernando Alonso. I believe it was his only win of 2011, I want to say. Yeah, around this circuit as well, when Ferrari, they got really good tyres for one weekend, and then Pirelli went and reversed the decision. It was a little bit peculiar, but that was Formula 1 of the early 2010s. So yeah, Ferrari, often this track has played into their hand, I guess because it's such a power circuit as well at the end of the day. And Ferrari, well, it's the home of the prancing horse. They like to have some ponies under the hood, as I think Charles Leclerc's about to get a run on me again. Down the inside he'll go there. Has no idea what's happened to Verstappen. He's dropped back, so now Lando Norris, he's got a bit of clear air. Whoa, and he might be able to close in. But I tell you what, this Leclerc is certainly better than the one I'm having to manage inside our Ferrari F1 manager career. I mean, yeah, this one is only finished once off the podium. So far, I mean, I'm only 2 races into that series, but it has not gone well, is all I'm going to say for Charles Leclerc. Map 2 and 2 plays, there's a link down in the description if you want to see more F1 manager content from me. It's down the inside again at the end of the hangar straight. I'm trying to plug other channels right now, and yet we're still making moves back for the lead of the Grand Prix. I want to make sure we're in front ready for the pit stop window. That way we can have the first call.
That's Charles behind. They are faster than you. They are faster than you. Let them through, please.
I've just been given the Fernando is faster than you treatment. I mean, we keep swapping places with each other, so I'm not sure what this is about. I'm not doing that, though. We want to try and get the first pit stop here. I refuse to let Charles by and let him try and get the undercut on me, so... Well, as long as we can stay ahead to the end of this lap, then hopefully we'll be able to box in next lap like originally planned. But I can't believe the team are putting these kind of tricks when... I mean, yes, he's got a big championship lead over me, but we're in our own fight. Verstappen clearly getting a bit bored, stuck a bit further back, so he's gone and tried to go for the undercut here. So has Oscar Piastri, I believe. And Charles still hanging me along through the first couple of corners. So yeah, we might have to be a little bit careful of that Red Bull. Might be able to get back ahead of Lando Norris in this race, but seems like a bit of a desperate ploy by Verstappen there. Really has not been the race he would have wanted so far. But when you remember how bad that Red Bull is in a straight line, hardly a surprise that this has ended up being a circuit where he's more vulnerable to, like we said, the Mercs, the McLarens, even the Aston Martin of Fernando. I think the less said about Lance Stroll, probably the better, but yeah, we are going to peel into the pit lane then at the end of this lap. I'm just a little bit worried that the team aren't going to be happy with me still because we haven't let Leclerc by, but I feel like I've gone and more than proven my point. We are here to fight today, especially at my home race. That's like telling Verstappen to let Sergio Perez buy at Zandvoort. And I think if they did that in a few weeks' time, there would probably end up being a riot. But yeah, making our way then out to the hangar straight.
Speed limit will be penalised if we exceed it. Keep that in mind as you approach.
Got to be careful of the pit lane warning line. Obviously, he fell foul of that last weekend at Austria. At the end of the day, they would end up making no difference at all. As into the pit lane we're going to come.
Thanks for doing that, mate. I know it's not nice, but head down and let's focus on your own race.
Well, we only just got it stopped then into the pit lane. They have moved the marker back this year. But I guess as well, the team happy that I let Leclerc by-ish. But into the pits we go then. Hopefully we're not going to get held up by Norris, which we won't.
Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one.
Nice, clean, tidy 2.5 second stop by the team as well. So happy that we had no issues with that one as well here, as we've got a few more cars making their way down the old pit lane. Are we going to end up in a bit of traffic? We've got Fred Vesti.
Finish the race on this compound.
Whenever I seem to box now, I appear to come out behind Fred Vesti again in this race. But Ferrari actually taking the tyres quite deep, because we're only back out in 7th. There we go, Charles in. Sure, Mark will confirm that for me.
Charles is in for his stop now.
There we go, and annoyingly, we didn't get the DRS off Fred Vesti here. We'll have a little bit of slipstream from him. The undercut, it's not the most powerful around here, because you've obviously got to try and get temperature up into the tyres. And it is such a confidence-based circuit. Because there we go, Fred Vesti into the pit lane. Those might be the first laps all year. He's ran inside the top 10. He's making a hatch of that final chicane then. Nice and easy on the throttle on the exit. We know we've got to slowly work these Pirellis in. But where are we going to be out there relative to Charles there as we make our way out of turn 1?
Ever over your EOS mode, so play around with them in your MFT.
Could not care less about that right now, Mark. We've got a 3-second lead. In fact, Norris has got the undercut on Charles, so yeah, real disaster then for Charles Leclerc here. Under pressure now in a McLaren sandwich, but we've got a bit of breathing room. Right, come on then, lap 15. We're going to try and go for fast lap of the day.
3.3 seconds.
I believe it is currently held by Oscar Piastri, but I'm prepared to use a load of battery on this lap. We've got no slipstream. But even that last lap, we were only a couple of tenths away, so hopefully we can go for it now. Verstappen, I think, has just kind of woken up and realised he could still beat Charles here. You know, if he ends up battling with Lando Norris too much towards the end of the afternoon. Not convinced he's too worried about me still in the title race so far. But yeah, I mean, if he could take another 3 points out of Charles Leclerc, we're getting close to that golden 26-point margin. But a lot can still change there, as Oscar Piastri clearly has other ideas. Green in Sector 1, green in Sector 2. I've had no purple time so far. You can just see that gap opening up to those cars behind there, or a little bit late on the brakes into that final corner. Ride the throttle down on the exit. Is it going to be a 127? It's a 28.1. There we go, purple, new fastest lap. Charles immediately snatches it away. No, no, out of nowhere. I cannot believe it. Home race from the lead. And we're out. I wish it gave you a warning. I wish it gave you a warning. What is that by Ferrari? I cannot believe they have let us down at home. And Leclerc is probably going to pick up another 25 points on me. How am I supposed to do that, Mark, when the engine's gone bang? What on earth is that?
What a drive! What a driver! Charles Leclerc takes the victory!
Well, are we looking at a champion in waiting today with that kind of performance? They were driving with the kind of lack of pressure that you quite often see when a driver knows, they just know within themselves that that championship is within their reach.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
there we go. Charles Leclerc takes victory here at Silverstone in the end. I mean, fastest lap as well. He takes away all 26 points, and we get absolutely nothing for our troubles there. We didn't even have a chance to try and fight for the win in the end, because he was taking time out of me, but I think we would have been able to cover him off towards the checkered flag there. Lando Norris P2, so at least one Brit gets a podium at home. They're ahead of Verstappen and Oscar Piastri there, with both Mercs in 5th and a P6. Perez, Alonso, Hulkenberg, I think for the first time ever, has picked up points in a Grand Prix inside this series, as he will beat out Carlos Sainz in the end to P9 there. Further down the order, you can see it was just myself that failed to see the checkered flag this weekend. And boy, oh boy, I mean, every single time I try and believe that we could get our championship fight back on track, it just completely evaporates. They're 98 points now, the gap, as we head into the second half of the year. I mean, it's not impossible, but it is very, very quickly heading that way. We're closer to Lando Norris and Russell behind than we are to Verstappen or Charles Leclerc in front. We have got a lot of work to do in the second half of the year, but, you know, mechanical failure at Ferrari's home Grand Prix from the lead. Mechanical failure from the lead of our home Grand Prix as well. You know, I don't want to get my tinfoil hat out, but it really does feel like someone at Ferrari has got an off switch on those power units as well there. Constructors-wise, though, again, we do open up that lead at the top over Red Bull, so I guess positives to be taken for the team, but I'm getting so frustrated with this. It is really, really difficult to justify at the moment. When do we feel like we're going to get a fair chance within the team? Like I said, though, a bit like if you remember back in Imola, I will put like the thumbnail at the end of this video, just so obviously it doesn't act as a spoiler as well. But thank you all so much for watching. We'll be back hopefully Saturday as we return for the Hungarian Grand Prix. But boy, oh boy, do we need a stroke of luck.